If you're a nurse over 50 and you've been thinking about building an online business, but every year that goes by makes you wonder if you've waited too long, this video is for you. Because I think there are really two kinds of people watching this. Maybe you've never started because you keep asking yourself, am I too old? Did I miss my chance? Do I know enough to even start or do this? Or maybe you're more like I was. You actually did start years ago. You watched the videos, you bought a course or two, maybe you tried affiliate marketing or another online business. You learned a lot, but every time you started making progress, you started second guessing yourself again. You wondered if you were on the wrong path. Maybe there was a better business. Maybe there was a better course. Maybe you needed to learn a little more before you really committed. So you'd change directions again and again. That was me for years. It wasn't that I didn't want to put in the work. I was always learning something, always building something. I just never stayed in one place long enough to really see what could happen. Looking back now, I don't think age was what kept me stuck, or even a lack of knowledge. I think it was constantly wondering if I was doing the right thing. I kept looking over my shoulder, wondering if somebody else had found a faster way, a better business, or a better strategy. And every time I did that, I'd lose confidence in the path I was already on. Maybe you've done the same thing. You start making a little progress. Then you watch another YouTube video where somebody starts talking about the next big thing. And before you know it, you're questioning everything you've been working on. And here's what I finally realized. The people who were getting ahead weren't necessarily smarter than I was. They weren't all younger than I was. Most of them had simply stopped second guessing themselves long enough to build something. That was the difference. So by the end of this video, I want to share what finally helped me stop chasing every new idea and why I no longer believe being over 50 is the thing holding most nurses back. Because I have a feeling it might not be what's holding you back either. So what finally changed? It was really not one big moment. It was a lot of little moments that finally started adding up. I got tired, not tired of building a business. I got tired of constantly wondering if I should be building a different one. That's a big difference. Every time I'd start making progress, I would start questioning myself. I'd think, maybe I should be doing what she's doing. Or maybe I need one more course before I'm really ready. Or my favorite, I'll commit once I know a little bit more. Have you ever caught yourself saying that? I just need to learn one more thing. The problem is there's always one more thing to learn. You could spend the next 10 years watching YouTube videos, buying courses, listening to podcasts, reading books, and still feel like you're not ready. Because confidence doesn't come from knowing everything. It comes from finally deciding, I'm going to stay with this long enough to see what happens. That was a huge shift for me. Not because I suddenly knew all the answers. Believe me, I don't. I'm still figuring out YouTube. I'm still learning. I'm still making mistakes every single week. But now, when I hit a bump in the road, my first thought isn't, maybe I picked the wrong business. Now I ask, okay, what can I learn from this? That's a completely different mindset, and it changes everything. Because instead of starting over, you start getting better. If you've been following my journey for a while, you've probably noticed that. I've changed titles. I've changed thumbnails. I've changed the way I write my videos. Some things have worked, some haven't. But I'm not questioning whether I should build this business. I'm just trying to get a little bit better at it every week. And I think that's where real progress starts. And if this is something you've been struggling with too, I'd love for you to join my free Nurse Second Act Insider list. Every week, I send one short email where I share what's working, what's not, and the little lessons I'm learning as I build this. It's really just a chance for us to keep these conversations going outside of YouTube. You'll find the link right below this video. You know, when I look back now, I don't really wish I had learned more. I wish I had trusted myself sooner. Because every time I stopped to question whether I was on the right path, I lost a little momentum. I'd start comparing myself to somebody else. I'd convince myself they knew something I didn't. Then I'd start chasing what they were doing instead of staying focused on what I had already started. And before long, I'd find myself right back where I started, looking for the next answer, the next course, the next business, or the next strategy. It's kind of exhausting when you think about it. And I have a feeling you may know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm all for learning. I mean, I'm still learning every single week. I'll probably always be learning. But there's a difference between learning and constantly looking for permission to finally believe in yourself. I think that's what I was doing. I kept thinking, once I know a little more, then I'll commit. But the truth is, I don't know that I ever would have felt completely ready. At some point, I just had to make peace with that and keep moving forward. What I do know now is that building one business with consistency beats starting 5 different businesses and never giving any of them a real chance. That lesson took me a long time to learn. And if this information helps one nurse learn it a little sooner than I did, then putting this video together was worth it. So if you've been asking yourself, am I too old? Did I miss my chance? Do I know enough? Maybe try asking yourself a different question. What would happen if I finally stopped second guessing myself? I don't know where your journey will take you. Your business may look completely different than mine. Your platform may not be YouTube, and that's okay. The goal isn't to build my business. The goal is to build one that fits you and then stay with it long enough to see what you're capable of. If you'd like to keep having these conversations, I'd love for you to join my free Nurse Second Act Insider list because every week I'll share what I'm learning, what's working, what isn't, and the little mindset shifts that are helping me build this business after 34 years of nursing. I'd love to have you there. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to pair it with the next one. I'm linking it right here. I think it'll save you a lot of second guessing. I'll see you over there.